Should we listen to some? Yeah, excellent. New Jeans. Good hype. Oh, I can't sing it. I don't have that hit. Stay in the middle like you. God, what's somebody? baby. Hmm. And do FanDuel. Yeah, if I was smart, I'd be working on gambling platforms or making polymarket bots. That's where the real money's at, not in games. Sheesh. Get 20% off first bet. I'm so glad that I don't have the gambling gene. That's just like a life ruiner. I'm kind of lucky. Yeah. Yep. Keep making new games hoping to hit. I know. Some people do, actually. And the trick with that is that betting and gambling actually works if you take a lot of small bets. And so if you make a lot of small games, your likelihood of getting a hit is pretty high, you know? Some of these big like blow up type games, it's never like their first game that they make. It's like their sixth game. So I'm hoping to get to like I don't know how many games I'm at. None published, but I really need to publish something this year. It's just gonna be tough. Doing all I can just to survive the January end of winter break. It's a different type of gamble. Everything's a gamble. I don't take enough risk. I really don't. I'm very conservative, and I should have taken more bets. You know, in some ways, like it's good to. It's like I play video games really risky. Like I will push for an advantage in a game. Like I know nothing's on. It's like I'm very aggressive in terms of pursuing things in games but I will very rarely like take a risk to the point of like I don't even look at my money and stuff or my stocks. Oh my god. I am not triggered. Never triggered. You should be. Continue to be. It's good. It's good for your blood pressure. What are we working on? We are trying to get this NoHub client to translate. We need to hash the ID of our joining ID. So I have this pull request. We've got to get this merged. So I need to take this nano ID, unless this nano ID can be configured somehow. Nano ID npm. Why is it under the word AI? Oh, different type of AI. This guy is legit. He's got the two letter GitHub profile. Creator of auto post CSS browserless. Oh my gosh, browserless. This has been, I think, around since like 2002. Let's look at the first commit here. 2005. Nailed it. I'm just kidding. This thing has been around a long time. 2005 was the first GitHub thing. What's your ETA? What's your ETA? What's your ETA? What's your ETA? Maybe I'm wrong, but I remember. That's a really nice GitHub. GitHub.com/AI. Incredible work. We're also going to be reviewing. I didn't get 20% off. It's going to replace all of us. So there's like stages of grief. And I was looking at these because I'm firmly. It's like it's not linear, right? So it's not exactly. It doesn't have to be in this order. But, oh, I'm using AI. Look at this. This AI overview. They aren't linear experiences. They are, skipping stages. So I think most of last year I was or late last year, I was in denial or disbelief. Now the AI models are now at the point, and this is only for code generation. I don't care about it in any other context. Gen AI for video, audio, whatever, pictures. I was strictly speaking about code gen, writing, interpreting, and making programs. I was in denial. This year they've gotten to the point where it's inevitable. They're obviously already useful. But now I'm no longer in denial. I'm in depression. Soon to acceptance. And I'm really mourning the loss of an entire skill set. Part of my identity is being technical, being able to write code. Now I'm still going to be technical. I'm still going to have skills, but the whole being able to author code from scratch in a pull request, making edits, writing code, this is now dead. Yeah, you can go either way. Maybe you're I just think it's I think that there's enough for me. I've been seeing enough very smart people starting to really utilize it in different contexts and having it do more and more complex tasks. So maybe you're just moving in between different things. You were at the freaked out and now maybe less convinced. And I don't know that replacement is going to happen in terms of job losses or just complete obsolescence. Now that's a whole I don't know if I'm not quite there yet, but the part where you write code, where you author syntax, I think that's going to be, I think a lot of that is going to be, yeah. They require a level of expertise to prompt it. Yes, I'm definitely saying that. But I do think I'm now on the side that just the authoring of code, that specific type of skill, just being able to write code. When I go to my leet code, I'm even less motivated to do leet code because make me a system that can do X. Yeah, split up a Kafka client stubs. It's not even close. No, I mean, spin up a thing, yeah. But I do like more. I'm gonna be sad when my job is no longer about mostly about writing code, because all the other things around code, those will still be relevant, and I can like, okay, oh, I got to go over to Cloudflare and spin up a fucking agent to do this or whatever, right? Like that's fine. I do like to do this stuff. I do like get into it. I fucking hate AWS. I'll tell you that now. But like knowing how to you know, network and do distributed programming and all this stuff is going to be useful, and troubleshooting and all those skills aren't leaving, but the authoring of code is going to be reduced, it seems. I need to delete this one. This one's just going good. This one's just doing good. I'm just sad. DSLs, right? Yeah, so like maybe we're moving to another layer of abstraction because people are now, yeah, determinism isn't over. You still need. I don't know that the agents are good enough to really decide on that because they're stochastic math, they're pile of math, right? Like, let's see. So when you say determinants, yeah, so like reproducible, reliable, right? Is that what you mean? I have to take this call because I'm gonna talk about the new game dev that we're trying to do. Hello, hello. How's it going? Doing all right. Yeah, should be. Should be all right. Yes, I'm doing well. I was very worried on Sunday night about work, but you jump back in the routine, you get it done. It's not too bad. It was a good Monday as far as Mondays go. Mm-hmm. Ugh. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I'm gonna get it done. I was like, I'm gonna make sure I have a good routine, get some exercise, get it all done, and it went well. And there's definitely gonna be some changes here in the new year in terms of like, I guess coming to grips with, AI, what we're gonna be doing, what work wants me to do with it. It'll be a whole process. So I was just like talking to somebody else. I was telling them I'm kind of in this like stages of grief, there's like denial, anger, bargaining, all this, right? And I was in, yeah, and I'm sort of in like in a very specific way. I was in denial about its ability to exactly author code, right? But now I'm kind of in the sort of moving in the acceptance sort of way, like, okay, well, this sort of thing is going to go away, this sort of thing is going to change. I don't have much control over that. Hmm. I have done a couple of, the best use I've ever had for it is basically cooking up YouTube titles. It's pretty funny because like it won't get it right, but like it does get you thinking in a direction. So I only want it to spit out random bulleted lists at me. I don't I don't like paragraphs of stuff and all this fluff that it creates. Like, so yeah, it's way too, it's bad. So I have to like basically tell it to stop generating after the first three or four, and I don't read the rest. I just like, okay, I like the third one. Tell me more about the third one. And it's so, but the problem with code is that it'll generate, 100% of the code, and now you have to chip away at it like a marble block. You have to chip away, and now I'm taking this garbage and I'm chipping away to find the truth, and you're only left with 10% at the end of the generated block. You've only got 10% of good shit you can actually use. Now, think about a different art form where you're writing code, you're starting on a beautiful blank canvas and you're, perfectly placing each piece. And yeah, you take exactly as much as you need. It's the complete inverse, of how they want us to work. So, yeah. And it is. Yeah. And the danger there is that, that generated block might actually be invalid in terms of its flow or its logic, right? And you don't know. You're not really sure until you have to dig in and pull it apart, and it's just like, ugh, ugh, that's gross. But we are moving to a world where it does do a lot of the actual key presses for you, which I don't. Which that's the part I'm coming to terms with. It's actually typing on my keyboard for me. Yeah, and it will. I'm gonna be in the acceptance mode this new year. Uh-huh. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yes. Yeah. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Absolutely. That's definitely the part. Think the same thing because I do use it to use like learn new things, and like if I'm learning a new thing, like I just don't have any ability to tell what's bullshit. So yeah, it's yeah, it's like yeah. Oh, yeah, it was yeah, same thing. But hey, it's a tool. I'm gonna learn how to use it. I'm thinking about ways to apply it to game dev as well. Mm-hmm. 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 Yeah, I've got to use that mode more of like just like using do you use voice to text? Yeah, yeah. I looked at Whisper Labs recently and I was like, oh, I don't want to set this up quite yet, but I think Apple will just do it too. We'll just record, yeah. But yeah, they'll get there. Um, but yeah, I mean, I think for our project here for our collaboration here, we have to, I think about sort of both the end goal and like the immediate steps, and kind of like work outside in. Like we've got the start and the and then what I see is the end, and then we've got all this murky stuff in the middle, right? So, what do you think we should start with? I don't have a firm agenda beyond just like kind of laying out a little bit more of what um I think would make sense. True. Mm-hmm. Uh-huh. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Right, right. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Right. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Right, right. In mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I think I might operate more on constraints, but there's some overlap there that there's like this idea thinking where you just you guys did this where you throw sticky notes out there and like nothing's too wild at this stage. Everything go nutty. What can go the craziest idea you can go. That process definitely happens in all of my games. Like, what if you could, pick up your friends and throw them into a pit and then, that sort of, you just go like super, oh, but then, they can attach to this so you do all that process, right? But the parts that I'm looking at are more concrete, like actions, like, moving, shooting, hiding, grabbing, these things that are concrete in a way that are less about the idea of an experience and more about the minute to minute, what is the player doing? Why do they give a shit? Okay, so here's another pitch. Like, we found ourselves on an empty highway. We're going through this like ruined kind of highway straight ahead, and we've got to find our way to the end of it. And things like what's patrolling that highway? Why is it ruined? That sort of thing. I want to find out. Okay, that's the setting, a post-apocalyptic overgrown highway, you know. But then okay, we can make it in a desert. No, maybe it's in a tundra. Those things can be figured out later, but the core of it is this kind of forward momentum, that we're dragging this gear across the road, McCormick McCarthy, right? Whatever you want to pull in there. And maybe you can write a story for that or give setting and voice to that. Then there's things like digging, gathering, shooting, whatever those sort of things that come out of that are the interesting things in terms of the game, right? It's less about, okay, let me deconstruct this experience and force them to have this emotion about how they feel about this abstract thing, because that's all, you know, metaphysical in a way that games are very concrete, right? Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, yeah. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, yeah. I see. Mm. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah. I think like what I was trying to find in here in these documents is like um what is the actual setting in terms of what are they there for? Why, I guess like I got confused. Hmm. Yeah, I mean, I guess I need to go and read the original now because there's been a lot of artifacts, right? I mean, yeah, it's just like, yeah, what's right? Uh-huh. Hmm. Right. Mm. Yeah. Right. And they're like that makes sense. That makes sense. I get that's great and I love it. I want all of that. But that it also kind of corresponds with like plot mechanics, like the inciting incident and the rising action, these things. And I was looking for something that followed that, and I couldn't follow it because it was like, yeah, I was like, yeah, okay, yeah, yes. I see the day house, the transition to hostility of the night, so that makes sense. But yeah, hmm, 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 yeah, 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 hmm, 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 Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. It's good, but yeah. Mm-hmm. 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 Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. 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 Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, that's contrary to what I'm my goals, unfortunately. Yeah. I mean, yeah. Yeah. You so like people's attention, like I take a different approach to people's attention. People have to have a hook. They have to have a reason. They have to have something that's going to keep them engaged in a thing that's always in front of them that is to do. And like when I did this house, the way I figured that the day house would work is that you would be arriving there with a specific purpose, like either to investigate someone who's gone missing or just to meet a friend or something, right? And then you come there and you start to look at the clues. It's like, well, there's no one here. Like, what's going on? And okay, take your suitcase to the living room. You pick up your suitcase, you deliver it to the room. At that point, something else could happen. They find that their room has been trashed. Like, why? Like, that's kind of it's more of like a Knives Out sort of situation rather than a that's my vision when I was creating this. I thought we had like a little tidy little story that the character would like go to this island to be the janitor, or they would need to, like something brought them there, and then yeah, 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 yeah. You've played a lot though. Yeah, yeah, yes, yeah. I mean, yeah, that's why we also look at games you've played previously, like Elden Ring and others. Like, I mean, if you start Elden Ring, you're just in a cabin. You've got a knife. You've got to get your way out. Like, there's not really much else to do but fight your way out. These things are really slow and ponderous when they first start. They kind of lean you into that, and then the inciting action. But the whole way you've got this thing of combat and getting stronger through that carries you on, and then like all these other world things kind of like develop really atmospherically. But throughout that, you've got that spine of what's called a third person action game, right? And we can do a third person action game with really light, like swinging a sword. Uh, it's tough because enemies are really hard. Because enemies have to be interesting, and they spend years making those enemies really interesting. Um, but there's also like an entire genre of games called walking simulators where you were just walking around finding stuff sort of, picking stuff up, looking at things, and um, they're often like post-apocalyptic or people are missing or something that cuts down on the amount of like NPC interactions that you have to have. And Dark Souls, Elden Ring is like that in a way because it's all broken down, it's all very sparse. Hmm. Yeah, yeah. I really like constraints. Hmm. Yeah, yeah. Hmm. Hmm. Yeah, and we don't have to pick the letter opener because you can express this series of um, coming together through self. Like you can figure out a way to find that in any conflict, right? But another thing that has a lot of great constraints and is a game jam. And a game jam, um, you create a game in one weekend. You've got 72 hours, right? And things get cut. They get left on the wayside. But what doesn't get cut is like the core, like, okay, we have one important mechanic. This is the one thing that they'll be doing when they boot up the game. They're going to be picking up this box and throwing it to win the game. Like, that's about it. Or they're going to be defending. They're going to be defending from a horde of somethings that are coming, and they come every wave, right? Like the game is small, it's playable, and I think that the type of game that I think we could make is something that is constrained in terms of setting and mechanics, and that's why I think we can definitely do transitions from one environment to the other and they can be different, but there needs, I think, also like there has to be a band of a spine running through it that is core gameplay because even like in Red Dead Redemption, you're walking around, you're shooting animals, or you're you know doing whatever you do in that. There's always this core of a thing that you're doing. um, and I think if we do shoot like FPS, right, uh, it's difficult to disguise that as something it's not, right? You Because gamers will bring their uh, perceived, notions about what this is. Well, this is strange. It's not shooting, but it's kind of like shooting. I guess I'll shoot. And you want to make sure that you have the core down before you try to break or twist the core, right? And that's sort of a lesson people learn when they try to make games that aren't combat games. Um, so there was a game called Ooblets. Have you ever heard of this? Close. Ooblets. Ooblets is a little game about farming, creature collection, and dancing. And now this game basically went viral because it looked so cute and people wanted to play with the pets in the garden. Okay, and what they did is they said this game is not about combat. Okay, we're not making combat in this game. But guess what they added? They added dancing, and all the dances were moves, and they hurt the stamina of the enemy dancer. Okay, so it's basically Pokemon battles, but they called it dancing. So the failure here was basically they pitched this thing as ostensibly not about combat, but then they have this combat, and it ended up being a really unpopular part of the game, and they removed it. So what you got to be careful of is like when you have a thing like gamers aren't idiots and they bring their own, well, they are idiots in some ways, but they bring all these preconceived, yeah, yeah, then yeah. And so there's a lot of like the types of games that you like to play. You should think about like what do you like doing minute to minute. Some games are just pure puzzles. Like there's a a game called The Room. You can go Google The Room 3 or whatever number, yeah. And it is literally a castle that you're dropped in and you're asked to solve this mystery by interacting with puzzle boxes. And that's all it is, right? Hmm. Hmm. It would it would be a puzzle horror game like this where you have all these like little set pieces and there's little tricks and trapdoors and like things that go deeper and like you can um things that are locked, you have to find keys. You have to like kind of distribute all of the things throughout. And at some point there can be a climax where you actually find the real secret. And that, could harm you, it could harm everything. uh, and then yeah, yeah, yeah. And so you just got to think about like I mean, we can design puzzles. Puzzles are fun. People want to solve puzzles, but you know, hmm, yeah, yeah, yeah. And I think there's a lot of different ways to go with it, but the framing of like, okay, you're a first person character who can pick up and move things. That's your main way of interacting with the world. And you're asked to do benign tasks at first when you settle in. Uh, and unfortunately, by choice or by force, you are now dropped into having to do either more destructive or more interesting, or you find these things in the room, or you know, these are. Then the stakes start to raise a little, and mhm, mhm. Yeah, yeah. Hmm. There's Yeah, there's another game that was on ChatGPT's list, The Witness, right? If you Google The Witness, it's a puzzle game, and there's literally only one puzzle in the entire game, and it is actually just a series of grid puzzles. So you can see that you walk around you literally walk around the island, and the you none of the scenery matters that much. It's actually these little stations. You're just attempting to connect one end of the grid to another. And now if you see that one with the trees, there's one with the trees with a little wire sticking out of it that's pink. Do you see that? Google Images. I don't know if you get the same one. Yes. Yeah, and you can yes, and it's the green sign. Now notice that in that is a tree shape, and you've got to trace the same tree shape that you see in front of you to solve the puzzle. So it's using the environment. With the has one apple on it. If you click on it, it has one apple on that branch, so you know that's where you have to go. You go from the root of the tree up, and you have to actually. That's how you beat the puzzle is by looking around you. So this game is well reviewed. Be, mm-hmm, mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Yep. Yep. And then you get their heart racing a little bit with a little bit of music, and you add a chase scene, and you darken some hallways, and boom, people are panicking. It's great. Yeah, I mean, here's the other thing: is like you can just let's play. There's literally let's play game A, B, C, and people are out there. Um, and I linked you one that we played. Uh, remember that I really thought was excellent, and you would probably love too. Is you can actually listen to us play it. Me, Sarah, Eric, and Aaron. Yes. So you just you put these two things on, and I mean, you can choose either one, and you can just listen to me fuck up the puzzles, and you can skip around a little bit. But so this is what we do: is we play these puzzle games. I've played hundreds of them. Yeah, we just yeah we really yeah we can consolidate it down a little bit and make sort of like a few like I don't know 5 to 10 minute experience at the maximum, and then we say, hey, that sucks ass, let's make another one that's going to be better. I think I'm in this like zone where I think you have to fail fast, you have to do it like badly and kind of yeah, and then like we played another game that we like with this type of puzzle. What if we made the whole game about this type of puzzle? Or maybe we really want to explore some horror stuff where they're just a kid like getting into something stupid like kids do. Um you can think about anything that terrifies you or and then we can also yeah we can just we could layer on some multiplayer, some light multiplayer on top too. It's not uh mhm. There's another type, so one that's really funny is in Elden Ring, the ghosts of other players will run randomly in front of you and die. Yeah. I don't know. It depends on the feature, but it's possible because it also depends on like can we find like a really like a good reason, a good hook, like to have other spirits, um is there something we need there? But yeah, I think the best thing for you to do is to like look at some of these let's play. uh I'll get a couple from my channel because it would be entertaining to have you watch my stuff. Right. Because I don't know, that's cool. I don't have to do anything, I've already recorded these, so. Yeah, exactly. Like, because we've been doing these game nights where we play these puzzle games, and it's been pretty fun. Hmm. Occasionally, yeah. I'll let you know if we're playing a good one, and you can join. And you don't have to stay the whole time. We usually start about 8:30. Hmm. Of, that's a good policy. Yeah, I'll think about that as well. Oh no, they deleted those. Okay, that's good. But yeah, I think that's next steps. Let's have us kind of go back to the drawing board a little bit. I get a better sense of what we want to do with the overall story from your explanation. Your 30 seconds was like much more clear than all the yeah, but I did like a lot of the design laws and things like that. That definitely helped. Like the, limitations were really helpful in the I liked that design law section. I will say I liked the first document more than the second one. Okay, yeah, that's and I just could see that there was more actionable things there. The only thing that I did wanted to call out was like in terms of like inverting controls and things like that. That's not something you should do because like it's makes things extremely inaccessible and people don't like they're there and they want to the major thing about a game is that people want to affect the world they're in. They want that chair to knock over when they walk into it. They want that, that's why you play games. Is like you have this effect on the world. You move and you stomp through the mud and your footprints are there. That's you impacting the world. And yeah, if you're it's only a movie if, they're just like a passive thing and if you're yeah. Mhm. Yeah. Yes. Mhm. Yeah. Yeah, there are if there's a good story reason for like a something to wrest their attention or wrest the control away from them, it can be there, but like super hard limit on like doing that often. Hmm. I remember, yeah, we talked about that. We did that in person. I remember, yeah, 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 and yeah, it's just like everything with a really good reason, right? And like the core of the game is that it feels good to play. It feels you're in control of the play of yourself in there because that's how you get people in, is that they embody this thing. True. Yeah, and there are I've yeah, I've seen it done. I've seen it done well, like once or twice. Like, and a lot of the times you just like turn the player off. They can't, they just can't do anything. That's better than inversion. A- And then you just like I was explaining. I think we were in person. I was like, okay, yeah, we can like lock them into the scene, but they can still like when they move their mouse, they kind of tilt their head a little bit, or they just can't. They can try to pull themselves, but um, like when you're in a cut scene, some of the cut scenes these days allow your character to still kind of tilt and move a little bit when you pull the stick, which is nice because I mean I think cutscenes would be possible. I mean we can always try. It's kind of interesting because a cutscene for a first person narrative game where you know you're in this thing and does the camera like jump over to the thing that happened or does it like so I don't know. Hmm. Hmm. Yeah, yeah. So the video would be possible. It probably would be easier to do it in the game engine itself. Like everything has you know basically you can set up cameras in the game, and there's always a camera attached to the player, right? But you can have like 10 cameras, none of them are active, and then at the time the cutscene plays you switch to that camera and you zoom in or do whatever you want. um, and then if you have something wild that you want to show, like a dream sequence, that would be a video. Yeah, and I think there's one other topic I had, the concept of fun. Games are supposed to be fun, right? So there's a couple of different ways that you can think about fun, and there's some like people who give talks on how to make games fun too. Uh, so if you're interested, you could think about like, oh, this is how, the psychology of fun, works. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Exactly. Yeah. And like, yeah, we don't have to tie ourselves to this island or anything, like we can think of something that's interesting, sparse, a story that you've had that, you feel like is a good vehicle of, you know, the player, like we talked about, is like coming into this thing, you know. I think the island is good too, like if we can come up with a fun plot for it. But it's, yeah, we can try it out. Hmm. Yeah, yeah. And hmm. Hmm. Yeah, yeah. Blitz a game. Yeah, I'm definitely doing jams here and there. I'm not 100% sure because we can do a jam on our own. We could join a jam. There's a monthly group that does a monthly jam, and they pick a theme. Some of their themes are really great. And that can sometimes cause some nice constraints too. Let's see if I can find it. Their previous theme was decay, and then another one. Their theme was masks, and then I like, expansion or consume. Okay, the previous month was consume. Consume is a good one. So I don't know. But what I think we should do is like a little puzzle game with a task that they have to do, like deliver, pick it up, put it down, find something, a couple of repetitive things like that, a chore of some sort. Because, uh, a fun and there's a thin line between a fun and a chore. So I've sent this 7-minute video to is like a good kind of a good explainer, like the difference between like challenge and fun. You need to be challenged a little bit, and puzzles do that for sure. And lots of different mechanics. But this guy is great. He's one of my favorite creators. Uh, but we're learning this together. Yeah. All right, you've got a lot of research to do, right? Um, let's think. What do we owe you? What do you owe me next? I don't know. Let's just brew on it. Not promising anything, like because my time is also going to be a little touch and go here in this first month while I ramp up at work because I did transfer teams, so I have to make a decent impression on this group, or else I'm in trouble. Yeah. And so I said, okay, well, I want to talk to Trey, but I'm gonna have to do it after work hours. So yeah, I'm not responsible, but because but yeah, and then I'll invite you to our next Sunday games thing, and you can watch that, and just just think about like what other games that you liked to play, that maybe some smaller ones, maybe some ones that were um, you know. Yes. Mm, yeah, yeah. Yeah, absolutely. And go ahead and keep throwing me questions too, because like I'm interested in like all sorts of stuff like this, and uh, ways that this works. Is like, yeah, this is a process, and I definitely need someone to help me with this. I have like no other creative partners on this because as much as I wish Julie would, maybe Julie will get into some art. She's offered a couple times to do it, but she hasn't made any. I was like, I really want her to do art for our games, so maybe she will. Maybe she will. That would be fun. She, yeah, that would be too wild, I think. Yes, of course. Yeah, it's a little high budget for his time and his machines, because like fun, fun, cool. All right, we'll keep kicking a couple ideas back and forth, and we'll figure it out. Thanks, Trey. All right, have a good night. See you soon. Hmm. Okay, quick break. Yeah. So this is a good friend of mine from high school, and we're working on this game. He just does not. Sorry, potato. Potato, 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 potato. It's funny because I'm actually working on an article about potato. And I made potatoes. I should have told him I made potatoes over Christmas break because I made the best potatoes. Um, But I actually have an article about this. And it's funny because the topic is, can your game run on a potato connection? Bandwidth limits for multiplayer clients. What's your budget? Hmm. This looks like it should work. Oh, this is not right. We just delete this. Okay, got a little static site generator here on built on Rust. Can your game run on a potato connection? I gotta have a big potato here. I measured I used the Wireshark, or you can actually use, um, let's see, that's a good question. So I have this calculator that was doing these nice conversions from KIBS. This is bandwidth calculator. So I had it written here. It's 2 megabytes per second. MBs, I think it was this. 0.2. It is 195. So I can add to this Arc Raiders. I think it was like that. Which, oh, and then is that much lower then? Yeah, it's 24. Okay, that makes sense. I have to go double check now. I have to go get Wireshark open and our task manager. That makes a lot of sense. Their clients are about 25 KIBs. My clients are about 20 or they're typically 6 to 12. Makes sense. And it's just is it just my client? I'm getting that much information from the server about the other clients. How much am I sending? I gotta see how much I'm sending. I'm glad your games can run on a potato connection. Yeah. Really, bandwidth is not an issue, but people always ask. So the TLDR, is it TL? It's semicolon. Isn't bandwidth actually still the bigger bottleneck for costs? No, absolutely not. CPU is. CPU. CPU is expensive. For hosting a game on a dedicated server, I don't feel like bandwidth is expensive, but I think if you're like an MMO, like maybe that the CPUs are just like your server can handle so much because it's so optimized. I don't know, but when my Godot games run on a shitty CPU, like I'm CPU bound like crazy, uh, in terms of cost as well. But it could be completely different math. But basically, it's hard to like get to the point where you're even with 10 players. Like, I have this whole thing here. Let's see, I could do a preview. Um, It's hard to create a game that would exceed your average Netflix or YouTube session. At this 20 KIBs, you're looking at data for a 144p YouTube video. And if you have 25 peers connected at 20 KIBS, you know, and if they all are in mesh, which is not a guarantee, you're going 500 KIBs. That's like firmly in the middle of a 720 YouTube connection. So let's see if we can hit this in Mbps. So 500. So if I roughly multiply the number 0.2 times 20, it's 4. So if I throw this into here, we should get about 500. Exactly. 488. That is based on the image that I have. YouTube video bandwidth. Like, they just, like this chart. The 720 is 5 Mbps. And what do we put in there? 4. So 4 to 5. So you just use this calculator and you say like, okay, 4 to 5. I'm at basically a YouTube video. A 720. 720 shit. That's with 10 fucking clients at 20, you know? So basically most people have like this 20 KIBs. My connection has a limit of 700,000 KIBs, so please be careful. I can only handle 35,000 more connected peers at 20K. Realistically, that would never happen. Costs, I'm actually not all that sure though. Because I'm not a cloud provider. I don't know what I pay for bandwidth. But I know that in AWS, I paid a fuck ton more for my CPU than my network. Also, my CPU was always on. Even if it was like low, it was still a baseline. And I think maybe at scale, like you're gonna have dedicated provisioned things, and maybe you're not even paying per cycle. Maybe you're not even looking at CPU. And like if you're at scale, you're dealing with millions of players or whatever, or your Valve or your Apex Legends, like you shouldn't be doing math the way I do it with my per client. Like I'm sure whatever Epic Games does for Fortnite is in the astronomical pay one guy $2 million per year to figure out because you saved 5 billion. But no. So it's basically hard to exceed your Netflix session. And this is what Arc Raiders did on my connection, which was zero. I think it was Mbps, which makes sense. And that would just be that might be all clients on like all positional data. And I'm probably network visibility, like with network interest management. It's probably about 2 to 3 players. I don't know how much they would optimize for interest management, but the Arc or another thing, if they're Arc, like I would need to know. They could also do determinism. No, it's got to be server based because of there's a lot of cool things you could do. I don't know. I'm in the weeds like usual, but I'm gonna write that article for sure. Maybe I should just work on this. Oh, shoot. Huh. Head out. Okay. Thanks for stopping by. Have a great evening. Take it easy. Take care. I'm going to work on this article a little bit. I might have to go back and get those measurements on my other machine. Quick break. How long have you worked on this project? I don't know, about 2 months. Um, maybe a little less, maybe a little more. I don't know. But some of the components are pulled from other projects. But we have a little system here where we can jump in a cart, and then this guy over here, he can pull this other guy around. Oh no! I wonder how we do interpolation, because we want to smooth that shit out, right? I wonder how that works. We get much cooler. The stupid fucking couch. I should get a green blanket. Like I should get a green blanket and put it on there, like a super green blanket, so that the couch can't be seen. Not perfectly green, but it still sucks. Sucks. Whatever. I'm not gonna worry about it. It's just because it's dark. I think without interpolation, physics looks funnier, huh? You use NVIDIA tools for the stream. AI-based segmentation works fine. Yeah. Problem for a different day, but yes, I've used NVIDIA tools that they've made my computer run hot. At least last year. Right now, I'm using Apple. And Apple has you know, things you can do. Boop, boop, boop. Five megabytes per minute. Let's do the 25 per minute. Let's see. Let's look at that. 25 megabytes a minute. Convert. That's 400 kbps, which is what Godot uses to measure. Yeah, I'm curious what I would do for interpolation, but right now I'm taking some measurements on my server here and seeing how much data each one of these little things appears to be using. Debugger, network profiler. So we're going down 15. We have to get rid of all these rocks, probably. Down 30 or 25. That's interesting. Okay. What's up with that? Is this my server? Yeah, Godot is great. It's the best software I've ever used, huh? I don't know about you, but ah, yes. You're doing a co-op game? I love co-op games. I'm trying to develop a game like Peak. Except you have a cart. Okay, so the mine carts are still taking some. Just get rid of that too. Hi, I have to leave, but really cool. Thanks. Glad you think so. Thanks for stopping by. I'm stuck in a mushroom, everybody. I'm stuck in a mushroom. I'm coming down. Let me show you another feature. We've got bounce on. We put the physics on bounce, of course, for the corpse. But I can pick up this player and I can tell them, fly, fly into the river. Goodbye. Boop. And subbed. Wish you good luck in your game. Thanks for the sub. Yeah, stop by. I should be on pretty regularly now. We're just making a little mushroom game. Mushroom. Yeah, we're probably going to change the theme, though. Because the fucking people hate mushrooms, apparently. They think, man, that doesn't look good at all. I don't like mushrooms. I think mushrooms are smelly. So we're going to make it squirrels or some other type of creature. Maybe something round. So if anyone has any cool ideas, you know, free game ideas. I don't know if we'll end up selling this either. It'll probably just be a test project we're going to publish. Mushrooms galore. Oh my god, there's so many mushrooms over there. They're all stacked up over there. Let's go check them out. Come on, mushroom man. Whee! Oh my god, where'd he go? Come back here. I'm really enjoying jumping around. Jumping is underrated, but all the mushrooms have stacked up here somehow. I'm awake. All right, it's now your turn to come with me. Let's make myself a little smaller here because the stupid couch. Okay. I wonder what we can put back there. Maybe I can put some like stuffed animals or something. Or my Godot plush. No. Find it later. Ugh. We'll figure it out later. Of course, now the couch kind of disappears. That's better. Damn, that really does cut back on my... Let's do... Hey, Ratchet Knight, how are you? Happy New Year. We are in it to win it. I'm doing well, good. I'm glad to hear. I'm all right. I'm doing made it through my Monday, which was my big fear. I was terrified. First I was afraid. I was petrified. Do 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 do. We're taking a few bandwidth measurements. So in this case, profile. Might just do auto start on these, but we have 5 down, 11 up, 25 down, 20 up. What does that say about us? I'm told that these numbers aren't entirely accurate. So this must be our server. Ah, and when I move, what if I stay still? No, it's just always like that. It's just some jitter. So down is telling each one of these clients 50 divided by 3. About 16. And we're uploading, what the fuck is going on? Come on, Andrew. Figure this out. We're receiving, this seems backwards. These numbers aren't adding up at all to me in like my ability to. I'm sending all of these things up. I have full authority. That's the issue here. I mean, I'm on a dedicated server though. Okay, my brain is actually broken. I have authority, but I'm on a dedicated server. How do these things actually communicate in this? I don't understand, actually. Is relay false or something? And so the mindfuck begins. What we're talking about here is basically mesh network versus create client. And we have a create client set up right now. And that means create server. That's it. What is in bandwidth? What is that? In bandwidth, out bandwidth, 0. Okay, create client. Bytes per second. Okay. It's good to know. I love the docs here. We will survive. I will survive. I will survive the corporate spiel. I have authority. Are these still running? They're not running. Let's try again. We've got so many players right now. It's the most players my game has ever had. Me. Go back to the Godot. God, I love Godot so much. I just can't. I can't not love it. I can't not love Godot. Seems to be optimizing somehow. I don't know what's going on. I didn't use a synchronizer. I had to write my own sync protocol. There are good reasons to use your own. That's very impressive, first off. Uh, I assume you had something custom that you wanted to support or you wanted to just manage it yourself. If you're able to do that and you're able to do it efficiently, then by all means. A lot of people start out with synchronizer and get pretty far with it. I'm still using it. More painful, but the end you have better control. Yeah. I mean, I haven't found a case where I needed to write my own. I'm almost like on the cusp of that though. I mean, you can just use a bunch of RPCs in a process, right? Like you can always just package up your RPCs and you could also buffer and sync and do all this and do packed byte array, right? Like but you could sync some custom data structures like if you had a map with tiles and yeah, there's a lot of reasons. I've never had a reason to do it. My stuff is mostly just player controllers. And that's what I'm working on now is I'm trying to understand why the numbers aren't adding up. Let's just show my multiplayer synchronizer too. Um, I don't know what's going on. You tell me. I cut off the always section. I'll delete that and redo it. I wonder if AI can just type for me. Should type all of my thoughts directly into the Discord. It should think for me, actually. I should just get a chip. I should just download myself, and then I can apply for more jobs and just have my AI self just go work. And then I can just play games. What a day. I'm kind of scattered, aren't I? I'm usually scattered. I don't mind being too scattered. I'm going to do a little capture here. Are you planning to use Steam? So Steam Godot is something I want to experiment with, but I'm currently not planning to do it soon because I use a technology called WebRTC to support browser games. Steam does not allow browser compat. So I use WebRTC, which is a protocol that Google and Zoom and others use for video chat mostly, but it also does UDP traffic, establishes a peer-to-peer connection. So that's kind of what I'm about. A little different. But Steam is on my list to do eventually. Probably create some videos around it when I'm ready to go, but to me, I feel like it's just too early to do Steam if you don't have like a game. And I don't want to pay them $100, but I'm told you could just test with their test ID and then, you know. Let's call this network. Let's call Kibs 1. Kibs. There's a little pre-roll. Here we go. Allow. Fuck. Fuck. Hello. Hi. Hey ya. Hey, hey, hey ya. Hey, hey ya. Hey. What's up? Did you just try to install something on Mac? I did. I'm using a Mac because Windows is illegal. No one should use Windows. Windows should be banned for being bloatware. It did work. It worked. I install things on Mac all the time. I kindly suggest to abstract networking as much as possible, be able to use different communication Steam or RPC communication or whatever. Trust me, I am well ahead of you on abstraction. This project supports 4 different modes of creating a network with peers. So you've only seen one of those networks. This is a server with a join, but I can actually remove that. And these peers will no longer be in a server connection. This project will now launch with a completely different set of parameters. This is now using a lobby system called NoHub that's built on TCP and WebSockets. So if we connect to that, we can actually create a lobby and have all of these peers in a mesh formation. So that one's already in the lobby. Join, and then we can make this lobby hidden. Now it's gone. But I can also publish it. It's still there. Everybody's still in there, and I can start the game. Boom. We're all on a peer-to-peer mesh networked edition. If that wasn't enough, we've got another way to connect. I'm just kidding. We've got a couple others, but I could even build this on WebSockets if I wanted to. We've got drop in, drop out. So my Mac says, hey, I don't know that. My Mac says, hey, I don't know that dev won't let you install. Go to security settings. That's right. You know exactly what to do. You should always go to the security settings and just say, fuck it, just run it. I don't know. I mean, I think I appreciate how easy it is on Mac to do things like, and it's better for people who don't know anything about computers because they shouldn't install things. Fucking Windows is just going to let you get fucking scammed. Fuck Windows. That is today's theme. Screw Microsoft. But yeah, we can do mesh networked. We can do RPCs based on authority. We actually have a conditional in here for our peer. If we do web RTC peer, you can see we have this web RTC peer connection, but we need a actual web RTC multiplayer peer. We actually check when we enter the tree if we're in a mesh to mesh peer connection, and we'll actually change our strategy for many of these things. So we just do. So like we'll actually do a different type of broadcast. Cool, I did that too. I can switch between Steam and RPC communication with just one Boolean. Yep, exactly. Mine's a Boolean too. It is, well, yeah, it's a couple, yeah, not in this project, but yes. I just look at the actual peer. I say, is this peer class? And then if I wanted to do Godot Steam or Steam Godot peer, they have a peer, I believe, in Godot Steam. And since you did yours more low level, you might not even use this, but the community plugin has moved to Iceberg, Codeberg, which we should all get off of GitHub because that's another Microsoft thing. But they just have a peer. They have a multiplayer peer, I believe. Because there it is. Godot Steam multiplayer peer. Oh, I believe the first thing I do is CSR UT disable. Curtis CSR. Yep. Is that a Mac thing or a Windows thing? Yeah. Yeah, excellent. I'm just going to do that. I'll do that later. Okay, where's the fucking pier, guys? Give me the text pier. What is the point of this article? This is what I made all of my infrastructure so I could avoid this $100 charge. Yeah, I mean, I'm in cybersecurity, so I have like I'm 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 like somewhat secure in terms of OPSEC, but not really. But use the Godot Steam plugin, yeah. I think there's a lot of different ways to use it. I would use this here. Where did it go? Create lobby, lobby function. There it is. A new Steam multiplayer peer. And so you could check if your peer is multiplayer peer. You could do this. You could do this check right here. You could go. The way I do it here is if multiplayer peer is, you could do Steam multiplayer peer. Queue free. Kill the whole app. Because you paid $100. You may not have paid $100. I'm just saying. You're a musician and producer, piano teacher, a certificates for app and dev, and digital marketing. Now you want to learn something new. Learn another thing. It sounds like you're a great learner. You can learn anything you want to learn. So all you need is some motivation. You want to learn 3D design and game dev because I love to suffer. My brain degrades. Well, you know it does the opposite. You know it does the opposite. Learning new things is actually keeping your brain healthy and interesting. And don't fool me. You know you're gonna be fine if you're playing piano and all these things. You're gonna be in a great mental condition. So you can learn game dev. It was nice to talk, Artie Sub. Thank you for good luck with my project. Yeah, we'll be here. You sounds like you know what you're doing too. Drop by and give suggestions. Good luck with your project too. Yeah, and if you want to learn game dev, Heya is in Twitch. Other person is in YouTube, so you may not be able to see each other, but I should fix that. I should amend that. Current plan is to use ChatGPT Plus as a planning assistant connected VS Code. Yeah, I mean, you're gonna have mixed results. Like, I personally would try to use YouTube tutorials before I resort to ChatGPT. I would go ChatGPT as a last resort. Screen, it needs to happen. I need to do the on-screen combined chat now because we're getting a little pickup in activity. So where's my to-do list? I got a lot of off-screen things to do. I didn't do over the break, but now that we're back on the stream, so definitely try YouTube. You should check out like Brackeys, and you can start with 2D game design, and Godot makes it really, really easy to pick up and do 3D too. So you can do the complete beginner tutorial. Yeah, you might be good at prompting, but I wouldn't just incur that that cost of struggle unless you have to. Like, of course, that feedback loop is important, but your mileage may vary on ChatGPT. ChatGPT is going to be outdated in terms of its training data for Godot, especially because the newer versions are going to be much different. It's going to generate older GD script. It's going to have fewer training points. It's going to give you more errors, and I would just try these YouTube videos first and then you try the docs. The docs are so good and they're built right into the engine. Look, I can click on anything in this thing and instantly get the docs. You see this? I right click. I can just go to the docs. I can command click on the docs. You can look at any of these things like a collision shape. You see this drop down? Right? Oh, you can't see the drop down because of the stupid GIF in the way. But if I say click on this collision shape and I go all the way down here, you see this open documentation button? Boom, open documentation. Oh, very interesting. Oh, and very interesting. But guess what? I'm just going to open that docs online. It's the same damn thing. And these are the best docs you'll ever read. I'd much rather have to find a mentor. Well, I'm your mentor, and I recommend you check out some great YouTube tutorials. You just Google the type of game you want to make. Brackeys is good. Heart Beast is another great one. They were my mentors. They made me get 2D games going, and then Godot is great because you have a 2D scene, and it has a, you can just go collision shape, a new 2D collision shape, right? Easy. Well, you learn everything about the collision shape about rectangles, and then you just go into 3D. You go new 3D scene. You go collision shape 3D. And instead of a rectangle, it's a cube. Oh my gosh, my collision shapes disappeared again. There's my rectangle. X and Y. And then my cube. We'll get this gizmos. There's my collision shapes. Give me those. There's my cube. You can hardly see him, but he's there. Yeah, Bracky should be your mentor. Godot docs also have decent getting started guides that cover simple games, basic math. That's true. If you want to get deep into the docs, I personally did not go that route. I did YouTube, and I followed along with the YouTube tutorials, and they were making the kind of games that I wanted to make, like a 2D RPG or FPS. And yeah, that's another reason why you should avoid ChatGPT is because you have so much to go. You want to build up your foundations very carefully. You want to like take these small, concrete, special steps like in a clear direction. And humans are going to do that way better than ChatGPT is going to overload you with just stuff you don't understand so quickly. And you're not going to know what pieces to pick out because ChatGPT is good for 90%, but that 10% is going to frustrate you because it's going to be wrong. And you're not sure which 10% is the wrong piece. It's like poisoning your entire experience. That's how I feel, at least with it, with how it works, because I've used it to that's fine, but they're still wrong on 10%. It's just mathematically how they work. It can do a learning plan too, but I would agree that like 9 out of 10 things are going to be fine, and then that 10th item is stupid. I've used it to learn new things as well, but whenever I ask it about a domain that I know about, you can pick out the bullshit instantly. The problem is I use it to learn new things. I don't know what the fuck is the bullshit because it's always there. That's how they're mathematically weighted to create bullshit. And so until someone creates a filter for truth, my recommendation is always going to be, especially if you're learning something new, is to use it sparingly, like as a last resort. It can help you troubleshoot, like if you really don't know, you don't have any option, yeah. But I would go docs first, and then YouTube, docs, finally. You like to feed them answers to each other. I think what you like doing is burning tokens. So you just have a budget that I don't have. That's fine. You get that multi-agent workflow. You're gonna miss me with that. I gotta have them write this blog article. That's what they should. They're actually good at, is generating word salad. But no, all of my pixels are handcrafted at this stage. That said, I do have to get with the times. Had them arguing over parentheses and pinecone for half an hour. A pine code. Pine is that awful language that is just like parentheses and slashes and stuff? Oh, it's a vector database. Oh, okay. I was thinking that it was that esoteric language. Vector database. Yeah, this ain't my thing. I was talking with someone about Superbase. Pine code. Oh, trading is the second one here. Trade with AI superpowers. Metabot. All right, what's your well, you post a yearly. What you got? What's your net, your percent? Positions or get out, right? That's the Wall Street bets way. I don't have any positions. I take 0 positions. But, you know, Polymarket would have us betting on everything. Mm-hmm. It's just an ongoing project, a multi-module indicator system. Ah, doesn't sound like there's any skin in the game there. I think you need to throw in 10K. It's not your only viable way out. Awesome games done quick. I watched for a while, but I'm kind of over it. Is there good ones on? Hat in Time. People love this game. I've got it muted right now. This just looks like Mario. Whoop, whoop. What's the one with the jetpack? Sunshine. Mario Sunshine. Super Mario Sunshine. Just that kind of vibe with the tropical. Yeah, we're glitching. We're going. We're out of there. Any good games you've seen? Speedrun? You do some speedruns? I bet you speedrun extremely well. You're probably a Super Mario 64 speedrunner, aren't you? Aren't you? Haven't watched much myself, yeah. Most of my Twitch time is actually Dota 2 or oh my god, Germa's playing Arctic Eggs. This is actually one of my favorite games. Like the Hobbit speedrun. Ugh, I don't know. That sounds like a good game. It sounds like a not good game. Oh, but the God of War speed one is also very nice. Sounds interesting. You know, I never played much God of War. I don't think I owned a PlayStation. I was a Nintendo noob. And PlayStation, you know, exclusives back then meant you had to. So you name a you know, Nintendo game, I'm probably more likely to know about it. Is that really the syntax? Oh, it's just an exclamation mark. Yeah, it's just VS Code. I'm not really. Got a broken link here. What did I say? We got to go up a level? When to command. .jpg. Oh, so it's already in static. So I just have to do kibs. How are we going to copy relative path? What did we get wrong? What did we get wrong here? Yeah, no, I'm one of the sane ones with the flipped UI and pitch black. You're insane. You know why you're insane? Because I can close this and my text doesn't move. Beat that. How about that? Skywalk's smoking. He's like, this guy's on something. He knows I'm on something. I'm on the truth. It's the only truth around here. There we go. Static, kibs GIF. All right, let's see what that looks like. There it is. Touche, valid point. It drove me nuts that I couldn't, like, I would, like, lose my thing. Also, another way I'm more sane in here, just make your cursor giant. Make your cursor enormous. So you can always see it. Make it glow. Never lose your cursor. Also, image tag 101. Yep. We're baking a little article here about network bandwidth. So here we go. That's what it really is. It's just debugger network profile. Fuck, do I even need to NVIM and TMUX and V and iTerm 2 for days? Yeah, it's so much fun to just configure all day. I love configuring. Oh my god, let me configure. Oh my god, let me configure. There's like a meme that's like, oh, must configure. Meme. I won't add anything else. Linux is just better, right? Is it? It's not better than Mac. Mac OS is the best OS. Unfortunately, doesn't require the configurator. All right, we have a question here in YouTube. How can I set player position on server login? That's a great one because it can be not great, can it? You know, it can be kind of shit. Here's how I do it. Um, right there, random spawn. Let's see if I can get that a little bigger for you. Random spawn, baby. The key here is to not use global position and to call it before you add tree. Oh yeah, after you add them to the tree. Um, so let's see what it looks like. See if we have any like snapping. I think because mine are client authoritative, I don't have much like uh fighting between where the server wants to place them and where they want to be placed by themselves. So it's just in the ready function. They seem not to. I don't know. I don't know. Do they? You know, what if we made this more extreme and like we upped this number by we have a factor of 3 at the end, and then we do 20. I use client authority. They didn't. I'm not. You know, it's really hard to tell if they actually like snapped from world position, but let's check again. Yeah, they did. You saw that. Okay. It's bad. I haven't solved it. Let's try a different tactic. Tmux. Oh no, have I used? I used to use Tmux a little bit, but I used screen on AWS to make detached screens. Is that Tmux? I think they're competing. So is it authority or you use RPC? I use so they have they are their authority. So when we enter tree here, I set the multiplayer authority to the peer ID, which looks like this. And then in the multiplayer synchronizer, they have position, rotation, and you can ignore these bones in one, and then tracked velocity. They have all of these as their responsibility to update. So whenever the players do anything like give their position to the server and they tell all the other peers, they have authority over it. That's called client authority. So that means that theoretically we should be able to place ourselves wherever we want to place. So we could try random spawn here, and hopefully that gets rid of that whole um like snap to the center, because when we saw there is we did see that player briefly be in the center and then get sent somewhere else, but we want to avoid that scenario. I don't. Let's try it this way. Okay, let's see. My camera is on the center for sure, and I didn't enter the tree and do that. I wonder if it's just a good night. Have a good one, Ratchet Knight. Have a good week. PM2. I've heard of PM2. Yeah, I mean Linux is we've had this discussion a few times, but I think Linux is catching up. It's just like I can't recommend it to like a family member or a friend. Go use Linux, because unfortunately there's still a lot of edge cases and bugs with even basic stuff, and some of the like flat packs aren't maintained, and you know, you go to their app store and it's all there's nothing you can use. Like I tried to download Firefox out of an app store for Bazite, didn't work. Just crashed every 5 seconds. It's like, okay, I'm not going to sit here and configure. I'm going to sit here and use a OS that actually respects its users. And for me, that happens to be. So this is really interesting. How do we actually, do we know that the the camera the camera is following this thing? Ugh, this is a bad test. I don't know if this user is still here to hear me rant about how to set position, but basically try to set position, but don't use global position because you can't do that when it's not in the tree. So my mistake was always doing global, and I always just do it in the ready right here. So if you're still there, just do position here after they're added to the tree. I think it's just the camera snapping there. Yeah, you know what's funny is the camera is not following them. So let's do it after we set their. Oh, we set the fucking. Oh my lord! That's so fun. I'm having a good time. We don't prepare the camera until here, so we have to do it after we prepare camera. Let's take this whole block and put it in the inter tree. See if that helps. Oh, I don't have. I broke my authority fucking thing. don't debug in prod here, guys. Just don't do this. Yeah, we're set priority 0. Set camera. Yeah, I think that doesn't work. Yeah, I think that's pretty cool. We all landed up here. We're in the void. We must have a sacrifice. Goodbye. No, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to. Ow. Ow, ow, ow. You idiots. How could you? Ease of life is Node.js like scrap anime manhwa website. Type hentai in the terminal on my update 31. What the fuck? That does not compute. That does not sound like actual production code. Node.js is like scrappy. I guess, but maybe not on stream. I have zero experience in game dev. What makes Godot so attractive compared to Unity or Unreal? Great question. If it's safe for work, then yeah, I mean, you can link me to it if you want me to. Godot is unique in its ability to be extremely lightweight, extremely fast, but do everything you asked for it and more. And it does it so in a way that is so systematic and easy to use, great user experience, incredibly good docs. It's just god tier software. That's what I think. Unity is slow, it's cumbersome, it's buggy, it's weird. It asks a lot of you. It takes a lot to get going. This guy has typed hentai. And it just did it. It just figured it out. Solo player who can't level up one day ago. Manga scans. But the problem is that these are all backed up, right? This is showing local backups, not links. We don't know. Those links could go down. Can you make Godot a triple quality games? I don't know. Yes, you absolutely can. AAA. You can absolutely. There's more and more games being made in Godot every day is just check out their show reel. You should check out PKVV. If you say so. I don't know. Just watch this. Was Hollow Knight made in Unity? Probably. I don't know. So what you'll get with Unity, yeah, it is German. What you'll get with Unity is pain. What you'll get with Unreal is pain, but AAA. What you get with Godot is like constant surprise and delight. And like, I've bounced off of game dev many times, like trying to make games with Unity, and I made games with Rust using the Bevy engine. That was actually my AI topic games Canadian Godot. I'm sure you could do it. This is great. I love Jerma and I love Arctic Eggs. This is a game made in Godot. Oh my god, he's playing a Godot game. It's so good. Now this is a PSX like retro style game, but there are a fuck ton of Unity games like this as well. Oh god, this is so good. I love the creator of this game, but they're making a new game in Godot as well. Um, yeah, I can't wait. I love RPG games, but that takes so much writing in terms of story. Writing is your lowest, easiest thing. Use your AI for that. Yeah, RPG games are hardest to make, not the good for. I don't think RPGs are hard to make at all, personally. Yeah, they're gonna have like a kind of a scope, but like I definitely think a action game is gonna be harder. Is it? Nah. Turn-based game? There's so many frameworks out there too to use that. I don't know. I think like a not rogue, an RPG. No, an RPG, a role playing game. Like the problem with role playing game is that that's a lot of different types of games. There's like very like expansive like classical JRPG games with a shit ton of content. Now Baldur's Gate is an exception. That's an inhuman effort. Like you can't be like, oh yeah, RPGs are hard to make, and say, oh, I can't say like, oh yeah, third person games are hard to make. Red Dead Redemption. I can't be like, oh yeah, this is a very tough game to make. No, I don't know. Mechanically, like I think turn based anything is easier. Yeah, Vampire Survivors you can do in a day. Yeah, you can use AI. It'll find a GitHub a clone of some survivor like and throw that at you, and it doesn't interest me much. Yeah, if you want to have a good RPG, you have to reach at least some threshold. Yeah, I mean we can look at Expedition 33, which I think had $10 million budget, if I remember correctly, or at least it was 2 million and then it went to 10. I can't remember. But yeah, Baldur's Gate represents inhuman ability. Like that, I don't know how they did that. What an achievement. Yeah, I don't know. AAA, like, I mean, my first game is a roguelike survival, 95% done. Yeah, I've seen you've been working on this a long time. Very exciting. Awesome. Now, is that another player playing with you on right there? Or is that a bot that helps you? Because they're shooting very less often. They need to chip in. Yeah. I don't know. I don't find it really helpful to think about where winds meet or Ghost of Tsushima, or I don't know. No, it's an NPC from the talent utility tree. That's cool. That's still cool. That's really awesome. It's nice, and I like the flavor of it. And that's not easy to either, is to have an NPC system. That's cool. Look at all those statuses above them. Haha. Very well done. There they go. Lots of loading bars. Good shit. Nice. We got our bank working. Nice. Very impressive. And I know some of this is uh, AI coded as well, right? So maybe you can say what you found, what worked, what didn't. Yeah, it's looking good. Very cool work. Yeah, I mean, making a game is an achievement, and like why would you? I mean, I don't know why I would enter a game like even like something smaller like Hades. Like, I can't fucking make Hades. I'm not trying. I'm trying to make cool little fun things, little prototypes and game jam games. Stuff that's the side. Yeah, the UI is AI coded. I didn't need to do the styling. So the UI is AI coded, but what about your game logic, your spawning, killing, health, gun mechanics? Like, that's a much tougher use case for AI, right? And that's all mixed up between you and the AI, just or just you plus AI maybe is a or you maybe the AI minus you. Different ways to. Yeah, this game's great. Play Arctic Eggs. I'll be right back. This is some gameplay before the boss fight. I noticed you have removed a lot of the. I think you were working on buildings and having more in the world. Like, was that like you had you were working on stairs, right? That was really hard. But did the columns, like just having columns and trees and stuff, not pan out? Poison. Let's go, poison. I can see that dash bar. Just you got it. Oh, it's so hard to balance. Yeah, I want to finish the game and put the stairs part. I'll be if I have time. Yeah, I thought you had like scenery, like roads, and maybe this is an early level and we don't have any roads or buildings yet. Very cool little effect there. Oh, this is like a challenge mode, maybe? Hmm. Cool. I'm wondering if you can, is it a balance thing that they spawn so close into you? Like, they're just appearing like right next to the player. Is there no minimum spawn distance? I wonder if they're gonna spawn in that close. So you just like make it so you can't see further. Like just bring in the fog, like or something. So that way they can't outrun you. Huh? Hmm. No, it's interesting. There's a lot of trade-offs to be done. I think it looks like good balance too. That type of thing seems hard to balance. No big deal. Thanks for sharing again. That's really cool. I like to look at other games. I don't do that enough. But here we're talking about what we need for multiplayer. Bandwidth. So multiplayer bandwidth is a topic I've been asked about a couple times. Like, how much is the limit? Yeah, otherwise the monsters form a train. Yeah, and you can just cleave them with piercing bullets. Yeah, yeah, yeah. You had to solve that somehow, and the solution was just to. Yeah, because you could just outrun them, and then they conga line. But I'm wondering if you could just. Well, why can't you just put them on the edge of the map from all directions? Just like spread out that circle, and because they'll still conga if you always move in one direction. But then you should encounter some of the ones that spawn on the edge. Some of them will conga, right? But you can't escape the. And then unspawn ones that are too far away, right? So if you have a square map, I don't know. I just think it's just slightly strange that they spawn within your vision cone. They just appear out of nowhere. If they were doing like a get out of the ground animation or something, or there was like a digging or even some sort of like particle effect that just showed that they were about to be there and then they poof in, that's fine. But since my player's vision cone is a square, a smaller square of, a camera, we're drawing a camera. Are we drawing a camera? I don't know. My projection. This is the projection of the camera. You have two options. If you want them to spawn within this, you have to add fog here so that they can't see further than that and they can come here. But the player is moving this way and the circle of spawn is around this, they would still hit the ones that were walking towards them on the edge of the circle. Now, if they continuously move this way and your map is infinite, you just clean up the ones out here and they'll be on this edge. They're coming in. from this edge. You have a trade-off performance versus eye candy when there's 100 monsters. You know what I mean? Yeah, I mean you should definitely think about that because also like depending on your pathfinding algorithm and stuff, and I don't know anything about how that's working because nav is the thing about pathfinding is that when you have obstacles. Yeah, I'm streaming on Twitch and on YouTube, and I need to add the thing where you can see these people's notes. But it's like this user has said this, and that user has said that. So I found that YouTube is actually getting more views these days than Twitch, but I do have some regulars that come to my Twitch channel exclusively, which is good. And I've got to fix up my stream a little. It's an incentive to fix up my stream. Yeah, I find that yeah, you if your game runs in the browser too, you've got a whole like I don't know if it's because does it run in the browser? I like browser games. Yeah, it runs in browser and Electron. Nice. Very cool. Yeah. Chrome will probably do a good job with it. Firefox does pretty bad with games, but that's what I use. Ugh. We're gonna do an experiment. We're gonna add everything we can. Just a bunch of I don't even. I think I already added that. Oh shit, I already added that. Uh, all right, there we go. We've quadrupled the amount of shit that we're tracking. Let's see if the numbers go up. Also, don't test and prod. Yeah, a little bit up. Not much though. There's definitely some compression going on. Uh, don't have any link for the. Yeah, that's fine. You can watch wherever you're watching. Don't worry about it. I'll look at YouTube though. I think it's stated there in the channel. I might have to click on my channel. Do 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 do. Yeah, Twitter. Maybe you can get to it from my Twitter. What the fuck? I should put all my links here. I think I did add them here on the side. Too many links. Yeah, YouTube has the ability to get the chat stuff. I just gotta set it all up. It's all. And like, there's more games. Like, I have like experiments where I have chatters say stuff and it appears in the games. So I know there's lots of different ways to hook in. I have a Godot plugin that actually tracks um, the chat URL. But finally got I decided to get a second monitor as well for streaming. Ha ha ha. But we're gonna get this article done. So let's say what if we do this? This should tell us the truth. What if we do one server, one client? See it. We love experimenting here on this channel. It's what we do. We experiment. Ow. He's all by himself in this network. What is he doing? We are doing down 10. We are doing exactly 10. And we are doing up 10. I can therefore conclude that my guy is 10. He does 10. We see it here. 10. Can't be any lies. I'm sending 10. I like this test. Fuck. We're just having so much fun, aren't we? How do I get rid of these sessions? Bastards. All right. All right. Here we go. Why'd I go to 20? I didn't do shit. Add 50 rocks. What do you guys think of this process? I'm just taking a lot of measurements here, okay? Two players, 50 rocks. was bad. Let's try again. That was good. Take a look. Fuck, I have to edit every fucking frame. I'm not gonna do that. Um, we're in the suffering. We're in the suffering part. We're in the suffering part of the evening. My lord, it is cold. It is just absolutely ice fucking cold in here. It is time to get on the treadmill. Y'all know I'm gonna get on the treadmill. 10 o'clock. Might be a brief tread, but we're gonna get on the treadmill. We're now short. Treadmill's looking good. Let us tread. I should make a whiteboard that anyone can draw on my screen. Wait, that sounds like TOS violation. I should make a whiteboard so only mods can draw on my screen. And then they have a social contract not to. Okay, here's the counterpoint for AI. Fucking WordPress. WordPress has been around since 2005. It's 2025. I'm still doing WordPress. I'm still doing it. It's still a pretty big part of the internet. It didn't go extinct like Blockbuster, like Netflix killed Blockbuster. And plus, Netflix is just an ad company. Like, they just reinvented cable packages. Ain't nothing new, right? Still doing WordPress, boys and girls. I have a server, WebRTC or eNet. Depends on your use case. If you want to support browsers, you definitely want WebRTC. If you're going to be doing something like Steam or you're going to distribute uh, or host your game on a EC2 instance as a dedicated server, then that would be eNet multiplayer peer. So I think there are very good reasons to pick both. And they're both similar. They can do very similar things. I even have in this project the ability to swap between peers because I do these checks right here that says multiplayer peer is WebRTC multiplayer peer. I actually will do something different in that case. So right here in front of us, I didn't even change files. I've been in this file here. So yeah, there's a couple of different reasons, but mostly if you want browser support, then you have to do multi WebRTC. And I got curious about how browsers work because of game jams. I wanted to do a multiplayer game jam. So got it all working, and my YouTube channel will teach you how to do that if you are interested. But yeah, eNet is solid. It's the most common one, and it theme is a whole nother thing. But I don't suggest people start there. Mm-hmm. What are we doing? What are we doing, everybody? We are back at it again at the Krispy Kreme. I gotta turn up my walking pad. Let's go fast. Gotta go fast. Oh yeah, speaking of eNet multiplayer, Pierre, we're writing an article here. eNet multiplayer, Pierre. Can I do this? See what this looks like in here. Yeah. Why don't we do it like this? Oh, do I have to make charts? Markdown chart. How to make a chart? Chart. Steal a chart from. Help me. Kill me. Fuck. No, don't. Markdown table. I hate markdown tables. Just the worst. Was it? I don't even know what it looked like. Fucking KIBS. Kibs. 10 kibs. 0 kibs. Nah, get rid of that. What? I did all the kibs. I did all the kibs. Give me all the kibs. I love kibs. Give me the kibs. Kib. We are going to the site. Dev dot baby site. Static. I think it's static. I don't know. Here it is. No, it's static. Then this reloads. And this works. Let's do that. Let's go over here. Session 1. One. Server. All of my what does it look like? Well, you might ask, how much data is that? And can my potato handle it? Can my potato handle it? We're going to wrap up in about 10 minutes here, so get your questions in before we depart. It's been a fun stream. It's been a good time. Thank you for joining, folks. If anyone's still here. While we wrap up our 10 minutes on the treadmill, we're definitely warmer than we were. Hello, it's muted. The video is muted, isn't it? Yeah. I'm trying to get some data off of this video. But I think I'm not muted, so feel free to ask questions. Judah Beast. Judah Beast. Jesus da Beast. When was this? This was 4 years ago. Per hour. Ha ha ha. $360 megabytes per hour. 720. Let's say 1080 is our benchmark. Does that even make sense? If we go by 1080p, we are looking at 1.5 gigabits per hour. That's a lot. Gigabit. It's less than I thought. It says 360 megabyte. By 10. It's 100. Are these data use per minute? 90 per min. 190 per min. So remember that was 100. The fuck? Oh, I said 190. 1.9. Much different. So this should be around 100. Okay, that's higher than I thought. Whew, we're working out. We're going. We're going places. We're standing in the same place we're going. Video bit rates. That's not what I want. Cinema. Data. Oh, poopy. All right, let's disconnect here. Nobody joined. Fine. What are we doing here? .23 megabytes per minute. 0.23 megabytes per minute. Let's say 1.23 megabytes per minute. 20 kilobytes. One point five. One 40. Let's copy this table. This is actually a good use case for a an AI. So Gemini is going to be best at stuff like this, where we say, I'm going to give it an image. This is actually data to data. So will it work? Not even close. This sucks. We'll see if it does it. I don't know. This is kind of crazy, actually, if it says it. This could be either really good or really bad. Okay. Good enough. Well, that was better than I could have done it. All right, folks, we're going to be wrapping up here. Thank you for joining. Let's take a look at our table. It's good enough for potato. I will go to bed. Good night.